Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this short tutorial on how to document damage assessment during intake in RC Care. My name is Kelly Farrell and I'm a disaster program manager in Tennessee region, and I'm supporting the national headquarters team as they update this guidance. So the purpose of this presentation is to review the steps for entering detailed damage assessment during the client intake process within RC Care. We will walk through 3 common scenarios when confirming damage and explain when to list 0, 1, or 2 responders confirming damage. When you've completed this video, we hope you feel more confident in understanding the program eligibility section of the intake process in RC Care. So this is a PowerPoint presentation with screenshots and information that is continually being updated and changed. So please forgive any inconsistencies with what you see now in RC Care or any updates in guidance or verbiage that have changed. So the scenarios we're going to walk through today are number 1, 2 responders on scene confirming the damage. Number 2, 2 responders confirming the damage using information obtained from the DAP duty officers or emergency officials. So this could be through a 911 notification system going out to a distribution list, or information that gets communicated directly from the duty officer or emergency official to multiple responders, say on a 3-way phone call. The third scenario is 1 responder confirming damage using information obtained from the DAT duty officer or emergency officials. Or number 4, 0 responders confirming the damage, resulting in a case where the client does not qualify for immediate financial assistance. However, individual disaster care can still provide services and funds without damage assessment. So we'll walk through the first 2 scenarios together because both involved 2 responders confirming the damage. As we mentioned, this could be through any of the combinations here where 2 responders might be on scene seeing the damage. 2 responders could be seeing the damage with one of them on scene and one seeing it via a live video chat or driving by the scene. 2 responders could be receiving the information directly from the emergency official or duty officer. Or a duty officer could receive the information from the emergency official and pass it along to the DAT responders. Again, it would have to be some combination where both responders received the damage. So we'll walk through what this looks like in RC Care on the next couple of slides, but just in a step-by-step process. The intake worker completing the intake form would select 2 responders confirming damage in RC Care. The first responder would select the damage assessment in the dropdown and hit approve. Then they would open the add notes field and fill in the point of contact with the second responder's information. In the notes section, we would explain how the damage was confirmed, whether that was both responders in person, one on scene, one via video chat, etc. The second responder can then go into My Actions after the case has been created to confirm the damage assessment, or they can provide the token that the system sends them to the first responder doing intake, and the first responder can approve on the second responder's behalf using their token. So we're going to pretend that we jumped past the basic information, the event information, the client's needs screen, and we're going to the program eligibility section. So this is the start of that program eligibility section where it's going to ask us, please provide the number of responders confirming damage and client information for this case. This may be done in person or virtually. So in our first 2 scenarios, we're going to select 2 because 2 responders confirmed the damage. And the second field says number of responders who confirmed ID and address. This could be a 1 or a 2. I, being the intake worker, populated automatically as the first responder. And then the second responder, I'm going to enter my second responder's email address or volunteer connection number. This is what triggers the token to be sent to that second responder. So we'll skip down past the ID and the address confirmations and focus in on the damage confirmation. We'll select the damage classification from the dropdown as major in this scenario. And we would need to hit approve first before we add notes. So we would hit approve and then we would add notes saying that damage was confirmed by whether it was 2 Red Cross responders on scene, 1 Red Cross responder on scene, or with a combination of the dispatch duty officer or the emergency official's contact information, or damage was confirmed by some combination thereof. You only populate the point of contact field if you have a second responder confirming the damage in this scenario. So that is not for the emergency officials information, that is for your internal Red Cross second responder. So again, we would need to make sure that as we do the confirmations for ID, address, and damage, we hit approve. If we don't hit approve, the system doesn't recognize our selection in any of those dropdowns, and then we are not going to be able to provide immediate financial assistance for the clients. So we want to hit approve and then add notes when we do the damage confirmation. When we get to this screen, this is where if our second responder received a token, we could enter their token into that second responder security token field and hit submit, and then we would have the option to approve the damage or ID and address if we selected 2 responders, confirmed those as well. So depending on how we populated those, we could approve all of those for that second responder using their token. Or the second responder can log into RC Care and go to My Actions from their home screen, and any pending approvals will be there for that second responder to approve. So once again, do not forget to hit approve and then add notes. If you forgot to hit approve and realize that now the case is stuck and hung up, you have the option to log into My Actions on the RC Care homepage, and any of those confirmations where you forgot to hit approve will be pending there for you to approve as well. Next, we'll talk about the scenario where only 1 responder confirms the damage. So this could be that the 1 responder was able to confirm the damage through one of the following means: either being on scene and seeing the damage themselves, live video chat with the client, driving by the impacted residence, or receiving the information directly from the DAT duty officer or fire department emergency official. And again, we'll walk through what this looks like on the intake process screens, but we would select 1 as the number of responders who confirm damage. We would select the appropriate damage classification and hit approve. And then if the responder who's completing intake is the same person who confirmed the damage, we would add notes about how the damage was confirmed and leave the point of contact field blank, because that's only if we had a second Red Cross responder. If the responder completing the intake is not the responder who confirmed the damage, then the intake worker would add notes about how the damage was confirmed, and they would enter that second responder's information in the point of contact field. Then that second responder would be required to either provide their token to the first responder to approve on their behalf, or they would log into RC Care and go to My Actions to approve the damage. That Add Notes field should contain the emergency official's agency, badge number, name, and contact info, or the duty officer's title, name, phone number, etc. In this scenario, the client is now approved for immediate assistance if damage is destroyed, major, or uninhabitable. For the case to proceed and the client to be eligible for any supplemental assistance, an event review is required. If 2 responders had confirmed damage, then no event review would have been required. So once again, this is what that looks like on those program eligibility screens. We would select number of responders who confirmed damage as 1. And once again, we have the option of either putting in a 1 or a 2 for the number of responders who confirmed ID and address, because those could be different. Because I selected 2 in the number of responders who confirmed ID and address, my second responder is again going to receive a token to either provide back to me as the intake worker, or she will have approvals in her My Actions for ID and address. In this case, I've input Liz Mays again as my second responder. If the first responder is doing intake and the second responder is the one who confirmed the damage, we would add notes and explain how the damage was confirmed and enter the second responder's information in point of contact. But again, we would want to hit approve first and then add notes. This step is critical so the case does not get held up and we can provide immediate financial assistance. And again, in this scenario, because Liz was the one who confirmed the damage, I put in her information as point of contact for damage confirmation, and then I could document how she confirmed that damage. So that could either be confirming the damage on scene or via live video chat, or Liz may visually confirm damage by the damage assessment from the duty officer, or confirmed it by receiving the damage assessment from the fire department and their contact information and badge number. If the one responder confirming damage is the same responder doing intake, then we would leave the point of contact field blank and add notes about how we as the intake worker confirmed the damage. The last scenario is when 0 responders are confirming the damage. If damage assessment is not available at the time of intake, you must indicate a 0 for responders able to confirm the damage. This results in the case going to the regional event administrator for a manual override of damage assessment before immediate financial assistance can be issued. We might open a case without damage assessment and not provide immediate assistance so that individual disaster care workers could provide services, including funds, to the client without delay. You can see here in the program eligibility screen that we would select number of responders able to visually confirm damage as 0, and 1 or 2 again as the number of responders meeting with the client. So some best practices and reminders that we've found as we've rolled out RC Care. Obtaining and confirming damage assessment with both responders before contacting the client will expedite the process and ensure that the client's assistance is not delayed due to damage assessment. You must select approve after choosing the damage in the dropdown for the system to recognize your selection. If you don't select approve, then the case appears to have no damage assessment and it won't allow us to provide immediate financial assistance. We use the Add Notes field to add details on how the damage was confirmed. This is where we would document the emergency official or the duty officer's information. The point of contact field is for entering the email or volunteer connection number of the second responder confirming the damage assessment, if that person is different from the person completing intake. If you forgot to hit approve and realize the case is now unable to move forward, you now have the option to go into My Actions on the RC Care intake homepage, and any pending confirmations, including ID, address, or damage classification, will be listed so that you can approve them yourself. Lastly, if you selected the incorrect damage classification, say you selected minor and meant to select major, and now you can't provide financial assistance, immediate financial assistance, the only way to fix that is to contact your regional event administrator. These are several of the doctrine and documents used to help explain the content in this video. These are great tools to have available to help answer some of your additional questions. And again, we hope that you end this video and feel more confident about the process for adding damage classification in the intake process. Thanks very much.